The summer transfer window is usually defined by the big money signings, those world record fees and the eye-watering details of the players' contracts. But I think there's been some wonderful bargains that have made a big impact at the club. Here's 5 of my favourites. Number 5, Zlatan IBRAHIMOVIĆ. United signed Zlatan on a free transfer from Paris Saint-Germain in July 2016 following the appointment of manager Jose Mourinho. In true Zlatan style, he announced the move on Instagram, claiming it was time to let the world know his next destination, accompanying the post with the hashtag #IamComing. As if he was giving United the privilege of having him play for them. On the pitch, Zlatan hit the ground running, scoring the winning goal in the Community Shield game against Leicester City and scoring in his Premier League debut away to Bournemouth. Later this season, Zlatan scored twice, including the winning goal against Southampton to win the EFL Cup for United, the first major honour of Jose Mourinho's reign. In the Europa League semi-final, Zlatan picked up a ligament injury which would see him miss the remainder of the season, including the final against Ajax. He never returned to his old way following that injury and left the club the following January to sign for LA Galaxy, where he's lit up the MLS. In his one successful season at United, however, Zlatan managed 28 goals in 46 games, was United's leading goal scorer and became the Premier League's oldest player to score more than 15 goals in a single campaign. United relied on Zlatan for a large majority of our goals during the 16-17 season, and the impact that the 35-year-old had on the team must not be underestimated. He was one of the greatest free transfers in the modern day, and I just wish we'd have seen him in his prime. In at number 4, Roy Keane. United signed Keane for a British record £3.75 million, and yet he's still considered to be one of the top bargains of the Premier League era. Keane was a leader. He expected 100%, and if you didn't give it, he'd come at you with both barrels. Not only was Keane a leader, but he was also one hell of a footballer. He scored twice on his debut against Sheffield United in the 93-94 season and went on to score the winner in a 3-2 comeback win against Manchester City in the same season. United won the league that year, and a young Roy Keane was instrumental in patrolling the midfield. In 1997, Keane was handed the captaincy of the club following the retirement of Cantona, and 2 years later would lead the club to the treble. And although he was suspended in the Champions League final, he played a pivotal role in getting United there. In arguably his best game in a United shirt, Roy Keane pulled the Reds through the semi-finals, scoring United's first of the night, and started United on one of the greatest comebacks that the Champions League has ever seen. United went on to win 3-2 in Turin, and Roy Keane played his most impressive game for the Reds, putting in a 10 out of 10 performance, man of the match. The Irishman went on to make almost 500 appearances for United, making him United's 12th highest appearance maker and one of the club's greatest ever captains, and he's undeniably one of United's best bargain buys. In at number 3, Peter Schmeichel, arguably United's greatest ever goalkeeper. Schmeichel was signed for just $500,000 in August 1991, and he was called the bargain of the century by Sir Alex Ferguson. A tall, overpowering goalkeeper renowned for his star jump-like approach to shot stopping, strikers struggled to find a way past the Great Dane. His leadership was second to none. Known for bellowing at his defence, Schmeichel demanded perfection, and during his time at United, he gave near-perfect matches himself consistently. Schmeichel won the league 5 times, 3 FA Cups, 1 League Cup and a Champions League while he was at United, and he was instrumental in that treble-winning campaign of '99. In the final against Bayern Munich, he pulled off a number of top draw saves to keep the game at 1-0, and he kept the Reds in a tie. United, of course, went on to win the game, and although the plaudits definitely go to the scorers, Schmeichel must be praised for his heroics. Making almost 400 appearances and saving United on countless occasions, Peter Schmeichel can be argued to be United's greatest ever goalkeeper, but he is certainly one of the best bargain buys the club has ever made. In at number 2, Ole Gunnar Solskjær. Solskjær arrived at Old Trafford as a baby-faced 23-year-old in the summer of '96 for just $1.5 million after United failed to obtain the signature of Alan Shearer, who was signed for Newcastle for a world record £15 million. Questions surrounded the Norwegian. Was he good enough to start for United? Should the Reds have done more to sign Shearer? Was this kid ready to make the step up after coming from Molde? His debut answered those questions emphatically, scoring within 6 minutes of coming onto the pitch against Blackburn Rovers, snatching a point for the Reds, and again scoring on his first start in a 4-1 victory over Nottingham Forest. Ole was often used as a super sub for the Reds and scored a number of important goals after coming off the bench during his playing time at the club, none more so than the career-defining moment in Barcelona 1999. With United 1-0 down in the dying moments of the game before Teddy Sheringham scored the equaliser. In the 93rd minute, Solskjær scored in the most dramatic and meaningful goal in Manchester United's history, completing a historic treble that will likely never be repeated. Solskjær went on to make over 200 appearances for United and now is, of course, the club's first-team manager, but he will always be remembered as a legend at Old Trafford. Not bad for someone who cost a tenth of the price of Alan Shearer. But in at number 1, of course, it's CANTONA. The year is 1992 and United are looking for a striker. Sheffield Wednesday forward Paul Hurst was tipped for a move, but it never materialised. Little did United know that this would be their chance to sign one of the most charismatic and exciting forwards in the world. A chance phone call from Leeds United inquiring about Dennis Irwin was flipped into a question about signing Cantona. Leeds decided to sell and effectively handed league dominance to United for the pittance of 1.2 million. Eric had found his home and his impact was seen on and off the pitch instantly, scoring vital goals in games against Chelsea and Sheffield Wednesday. He was to be the missing link that gave United their first title in 26 years. His goals were legendary, but his assist gave United the X factor in the final third. United finished the season as champions, 10 points ahead of the chasing pack, and that is largely down to the influence of King Eric. He was known for his off-the-pitch antics as much for what he did on it. Cantona was banned for 9 months for kung fu kicking Matthew Simmons, a Crystal Palace fan, after being sent off in the 1-1 draw against the Eagles. This only furthered the aura surrounding Cantona, and his comeback against Liverpool saw one of the greatest atmospheres Old Trafford has ever witnessed. United drew that game 2-2 with Cantona scoring United's second. The King was back. His attitude to training and the confidence he instilled into the class of '92 cannot be measured. Eric won 4 league titles and 2 FA Cups, as well as Player of the Year award in the 93-94 season, and he was arguably the greatest character, the ultimate catalyst for success, and the biggest bargain transfer in Manchester United history. Let me know in the comments if you agree, if you disagree, if you think we've missed anyone. Join us next time where we will go over the 5 biggest transfer flops in the history of Manchester United.